Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Heather Shaw. You're listening to Heather Shaw is Kidding. Boy, a lot to jump into this episode. And by a lot, I mean one thing mostly. The glorious film that I saw this weekend, J-Lo's movie. It finally came out. We're going to jump into that. And then some other little stories from last week. But before I do, let's go over the reminders. If you like the show, please subscribe wherever you listen. Rate it, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on MySpace Music Player, on Facebook's Marketplace. I don't know how you're listening to this. Stay away from Facebook Marketplace, would you? You don't need that used table that's haunted, that a squirrel has died inside of. You don't need it. Half the time when you go to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, you're getting shafted. You think you're going to buy a TV and somebody hands you a dead ferret. Don't do it. But rate this podcast. A lot of people message me saying they like it. I like to hear that. Thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time tuning in, where the fuck have you been, faggot? All right. If you want to support me, another way to do that is to join the Patreon. You know, even if you don't care about getting a bonus episode of this podcast every week, you can still just support me for $3 a month. For just $3 a month, you can support a gay. Huh? Do it. And then I got to go over tour dates. So tonight I'm in Batavia, Illinois. I don't know when you're listening to this. It might be too late. Nashville, March 1st and March 2nd. Cleveland, March 28th. Some gay guy hit me up in Cleveland. And he does a comedy show at a gay bar or gay club. I don't know. We'll find out. And he said, hi, do you want to do a show after your show at the comedy club in Cleveland? Do you want to come over to this gay bar called Poppers? I don't know what it's called. I'm making it up. Do you want to come over to Prep and do a little comedy spot? And I said, absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do, Gary. Sign me up. So if you're in Cleveland, you can't make the comedy show, and I don't know where this is. It's a bad plug for the show, but how many gay clubs could there be in Cleveland? I mean, really, what do you have? You have like a Walmart, a shady Walmart, and then probably 2 gay clubs. I don't know what the gay club is called. Anal would be my guess, something like that. That should be fun. Indianapolis, Indiana, and St. Louis, I'm coming to you in April, and then DC in June. I think I'm doing San Diego in May, but the club, I don't know. We go back and forth and ghost each other. It's been weird and fun. I miss ghosts. It's the only ghosting I can get now is from comedy clubs because I'm in a solid relationship. But check out all the tour dates and get tickets at heathershawcomedy.com. All right, that's enough of that. Let's jump into the fucking reason we're here, baby. J-Lo's movie. This is me. No. Have you seen it? It's on Amazon Prime. It's only an hour long. I'm gonna break this down real in depth for you. This is an experience, this movie. I kind of called it. I hate to say it. I called it. A couple episodes back, I opened the show by saying, I saw this batshit trailer for J-Lo's new movie. It can't be good. And boy, was I right. It's insane. It's like so bad that it's good. It's fun to watch. Make it an experience. It's only 1 hour. You can carve out an hour of your night, get your friends together. I wouldn't recommend getting high, but a lot of people can deal with being high way better than I can. If I watched this movie high, I would have called the cops on myself. I would have said, officers, there's a faggot in my house. Get her out. It's quite an experience. Watch it with people. It's one of those movies where it's so bad that it's like accidentally funny because there's no more good comedies anymore. So this is what you get. You get Jennifer Lopez paying out of her own pocket $20 million to make this film about how bad her love life is. That's the whole entire film. She is roasting her love life for an hour straight over some music numbers and a lot of CGI. That's the premise of the film. It took me probably a day and a half to realize and understand the premise of the film. While watching the film, I couldn't understand what the film was about. When the credits started rolling, I still was like, I don't know what I know I saw an abomination, but I don't know what kind. You have got to see it. It is a viewing experience. It is a must watch. I hope it wins all of the awards. God, I hope she's submitting herself for the awards. I mean, it's crazy. I'll go over the good things about this film first, okay? Because there's only two. There's only two things. There's three, actually. Number one, it's an hour long. That's great, because I'm not a fan of long movies. I mean, once you hit an hour and a half, I'm out. I hate it. And all the movies nowadays are 3 hours. You know, if they came out on VHS, they'd take up 3 tapes like fucking Titanic. Every film is insane. It's like, you know, I hate it. So that's a good thing. The other good thing I will say is the music is not bad. In the movie, it's not that bad. I actually was kind of like bopping my head to the songs. They weren't awful. I went back to Spotify today and listened to the music, and it wasn't good. So I don't know if it was like the dancing that made it sound good, because I listened to it on its own, and the album is not good. I hated it. But while watching the movie, I guess it was the only good part about what I was seeing. It didn't sound that bad. So that's number 2. Sorry, that was a mouth fart. The third thing I'll say is that J-Lo, Jenny, she is 54 years old, and this woman looks fucking stunning. Stunning, amazing. For 54, and she doesn't look worked on. You know, she doesn't look like an old antique car that needed a lot of love. Because you're starting to see that now with some of these celebs who never looked like they needed work or did work. We all know that every A-list celebrity, man or woman, is getting work done. By the time they hit 25, they're doing work, and maybe even younger. Jennifer Aniston is a good example of, like, we knew she was doing Botox and, like, not using Aveeno, even though she claimed, you know, she was a Aveeno spokesperson. We knew she was doing stuff, but she never really looked like plastic surgery-y. And now Jennifer Aniston, she was at that award show, like, in the past month, and it looks bad. It looks sad. She looks like a lion. Her face is pinned back. She looks like there was a 90s TV show called Beauty and the Beast. Don't come for me, but Jennifer Aniston looks like the Beast in that 90s TV show. If you remember that show, holy shit, you're old. But she kind of, and I'm not trying to shame. I say that Jennifer Aniston's always pulled off looking great, and now she's kind of veering into like, you're looking way too tight, way too pinned back. Her ears are pinned back in the back of her head. Her nose is starting to look a little weird. I mean, hopefully it's just settling. Hopefully she just got work done before that award show, and it just needs time to settle. But J-Lo, we know that J-Lo's doing stuff, right? But she looks amazing. I mean, she for 54 years old, this woman looks great. I don't know what she's doing. She's not finding the right man to marry. And I can say that. I've seen this movie. I don't know what she's doing, but she doesn't look worked on. She doesn't look fake. She doesn't look plastic surgery. I mean, she is just gorgeous. I don't know. Maybe she's eating some babies for the conspiracy theorists out there who, you know, they need lives. But they love to say that, you know, celebrities, I don't know, drink baby blood or drink baby periods. I don't know what's going on. I don't follow the conspiracies. All right, so that's the good things, right? Let's get into the entire movie because the rest is god-awful bad. Okay, so even if you can't make it through the entire film, if you tried watching this, if you get to like the 10-minute mark, you've done your job. You've tried, and I will salute you for that. Because a lot of people have told me, hey, I tried watching that movie, and nope, I refuse. I would rather be sitting in the DMV all day with all the wrong documents that not getting anything done. I made it through the film. I don't know how. There was a lot of bathroom breaks. I prayed a little in between each scene. You know, I don't believe in God, but during that movie, I started to wonder, is he out there? Does he exist? So if you make it 10 minutes in, you'll understand that within the first 5 minutes of this film, there is an unhinged musical number where she is in like an exploding love factory. This is how the movie opens. She's doing a dance number inside of an exploding love factory. Things are falling down. Things are melting, and she's just belting. Things are melting, and she is belting. That's what's happening in her own J-Lo way, where it's like, is J-Lo even singing? Because remember when J-Lo released music and everyone's like, that's just Ashanti. She just is stealing people's track. Like, she's using people's voice and pretending it's hers. J-Lo's a great dancer throughout the film, but that's not going to save it, honey. Your good dancing is not going to save this film. just at least watch the first musical number. If you watch that, you'll kind of understand the rest of the film. You'll be like, oh, this is the vibe. It's batshit bananas. Everything in this movie is CGI'd to hell and back. Everything looks so fucking fake, except for J-Lo. I mean, it is so bad, and she spent $20 million, and this is why she spent $20 million, because everything is so CGI'd to hell. It's like Avatar on acid. It's insane. James Cameron is looking at her like, tone it the fuck down, bitch. What are you doing? You're losing the plot. It's unreal. Everything. Like, just simple things. Her house. Her house is not a set. It's not a movie set. It's all CGI. If she's walking outside, it's all CGI. There's a scene where she's dancing in the rain in the end. She's dancing in the rain. Now, Jennifer Lopez produced this, funded it, helped write it, which, you know, just means she abused writers. You know, they would write something and she'd say, no. She wrote it, she starred in it, she sang the music. So she has every little part of this movie she did. And you can tell. The only real thing about this movie are the actors and the cringe. Those are the realest things about this movie. It's almost as if she was trying to make this movie to be like her version of Beyonce's Lemonade, you know, like a visual album kind of thing, I guess. I don't fucking know. I mean, Beyonce's Lemonade was a masterpiece. It was so well done. This is like J-Lo presents High C. You know, this is like J-Lo, Capri Sun. It's not good. It's unreal how bad this movie is. It's embarrassing. Does she ever get embarrassed, do you think? Or is she on a level of narcissism where it's just like, it's like Trump. When you're so narcissistic that like literally nothing, no. If everybody told you sucked, you'd be like, everybody's crazy and a liar. It's really unreal. The fact that she spent $20 million on this project about her love life, it's enough. It says enough. She's a Leo. That's accurate. That's a Leo move. That's a narcissistic Leo move. I mean, within 20 minutes of the film, she has been married 3 times. Within 20 minutes. The film's only an hour long, so that's, you know, by the halfway mark, she's ran through 3 marriages. I mean, real quick. Boom, 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 boom. And music. They packed a lot, man. They packed a lot. This better win an Oscar. At one point, all of her friends, who, by the way, her group of friends are played by people like 20 years younger than her, which maybe is believable. All the men are gay. Very believable that she would surround herself with gay men. And then all the women are women that, I don't know, J-Lo would not look at, you know, in the street. She wouldn't pay attention to them. The women who are playing her friends in this movie are people that J-Lo would tell them, don't look me in the eye in real life. You know what I mean? I didn't buy it for a second. But all of her friends in the movie, at one point they hold an intervention for her. J-Lo comes home stumbling drunk. I don't know how they got all of this into the movie. J-Lo comes home stumbling drunk with a random guy she met at a club or something. And she walks into her living room and like all of her fake friends are just in the living room like, we're really worried about you, queen. Yeah, can you take a seat? Like, they're like, you've been married a lot. Are you okay? Like, go to love rehab. What is happening? It'd be so much more interesting if J-Lo picked up a heroin habit in this movie. Then I'd be like, this movie deserves everything and more. Where's the sequel? I wanted a real intervention. You know, not like, girl, you've been married a lot. Are things okay? No, bitch. She doesn't realize that you have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. Can I get an amen? Fat Joe is her therapist in the film. I mean, what are we doing? Did J-Lo lose a bet? This entire movie feels like J-Lo lost a bet. She went to the poker table with Ben Affleck and lost. And he said, all right, you got to make that fucking movie, bitch. And guess who your therapist is? Fat Joe. Who, by the way, he slimmed down. Fat Joe is no longer factual. He needs to go by Ozempic Joe or just Joe. He just needs to be Joe at this point. There is no fat. Or change it to a fat with a pH. I don't know. You got to do something. I mean, unreal. That's like me walking around saying, I'm Asian Heather. Nuh-uh. Ben Affleck is in the film for 3 seconds. I guess he also lost a bet. And it's like, dude, have you learned nothing from Geely? Have you learned nothing from Geely? I mean, he's a newscaster in the film. He doesn't interact with J-Lo at all. So maybe he was like, if we don't interact, it won't be a bad movie. And whew, no, you were wrong. He plays a newscaster named Rex, and he's in prosthetics. You can't recognize him. I only realized it was him in the credits. He's got a crazy voice. He plays a newscaster, but he's not interacting with J-Lo in the film. He's like on TV that's playing inside of her fake CGI house. And he serves no purpose for the film. You don't understand what he's saying, what he's talking about on the news. It's no sense. Makes no sense. You know that J-Lo just sat him down and put a gun to his head and was like, you better do this fucking film, Ben. After all we've fucking been through, Ben. You and your fucking gambling and your fucking drinking and your fucking bitch ex-wife, Ben. There were a lot of celebrity cameos, though, and I think you see them. I mean, I would say by the 15-minute mark, you're going to see an absurd amount of celebrity cameos that just make no sense. It looks like a Super Bowl commercial. I mean, the budget, $10 million of her budget went to paying these fucking celebrities to be in the movie. They're all in the sky, and they all these celebrities play a zodiac sign, and their main duty in the film is to just be together up in the sky roasting Jennifer Lopez. I mean, this is unhinged. Has anybody done a welfare check on Jennifer Lopez? What is she doing? And the celebrities are so random. You have Jane Fonda, Post Malone, Keke Palmer, who I will say Keke Palmer was the funniest one because she's just good. Jay Shetty, I think his name is. He has a podcast I've never heard of, but apparently it's very big. So he's very popular, and he looks like he loves tanning salons. He loves a tanning booth, a tanning bed. Neil deGrasse Tyson is in it, and I could have sworn Neil deGrasse Tyson got Me Too'd, which makes sense. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson is like, God isn't real, but he thinks he's God. Sofia Vergara's in it. Trevor Noah. I mean, that makes sense. Trevor Noah seems like he's just like, he would do anything for a check. Kim Petras. So all those celebrities are together. They clearly have not filmed their scenes together. I mean, scheduling all of these celebrities like Jane Fonda and, Post Malone and Neil deGrasse, like Jane Fonda, her bedtime is 3 p.m. So she's not going to be there shooting all day. So you can tell that everybody was filmed separately and they just, again, worked their movie magic, CGI and, whatever, Photoshop and put them all together. And all they do is just roast J-Lo, being like, look at this stupid bitch again. She's picking the wrong man. Should we step in? No, Scorpio, don't do that. Let her, learn her path. It's, guys, I'm going to say it. It's unhinged. I know I keep saying it. The way I'm describing this movie, it sounds like a fever dream. I mean, it sounds like something when I have a flu and I go to bed and I'm all Benadrylled up. And I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, I dreamt Fat Joe was J-Lo's therapist. And Jane Fonda was there calling her a dumb cunt. It was unreal. The premise of this film and what's going on in this film, it sounds like a Mad Lib. It's like, okay, I need 10 celebrities. And you're like, Keke Palmer, Trevor Noah. What about that stupid science bitch, Neil deGrasse Tyson? It's crazy. I would have so much more enjoyed it if they had different celebrities up there, and it would have saved her money. I want to see the crazy celebrities up there. I don't want to see Jane Fonda, who was one of her lines was referencing the Vanderpump Rules, as if Jane fucking Fonda knows the Vanderpump Rules. You think she's watching that show, giving a fucking shit? I mean, I want to see Jamie Lee Curtis would have been fun up there. Taryn Manning in one of her episodes, just hitting a meth pipe and being like, yeah, J-Lo, what you doing, J-Lo? Oh, God. I do one Taryn Manning impression and I start to choke. How does she live her life? I want to see Taryn Manning up there as a celebrity zodiac sign, as Pensatuski, or whatever the fuck her name was. Puckatuxy Haxy Phil. I don't know what her fucking name was in Orange is the New Black. I want to just see her up there. And J-Lo. She's fucking nuts. She's a fun one to watch, but it's also like Taryn Manning, somebody where you're like, this woman's going to die. And then we're all going to be real sad and be like, how could this have happened? And it's like, no, we know how. We've seen her TikToks. She's always in some like 2003 Ed Hardy trucker hat talking about like filming Crossroads she was paid in like drink tickets, you know, claiming she's sober and just believes in Jesus Christ and Trump. I mean, this is true. She gets on TikTok and she's just like, yeah, I don't do no drugs. I'm high on Jesus Christ and Trump 2024. She's crazy. I would have loved to see her up there. Corey Feldman, I would have liked to be up there doing his little Michael Jackson routine. You know, impersonating the person who touched him as a kid. That's fun, isn't that? That he turned into a pop star? Well, let's say a pop singer. You can't call him a pop star. He's a pop singer. Corey Feldman performing on Good Morning America, whatever fucking show it was, that somebody gave him a spot on a morning show or whatever to do his like Corey Feldman Dark Angels. I feel bad for Corey Feldman. He was clearly abused by the industry. But it's funny that he tries to be like Michael Jackson Feldman, because I mean, I'm sure that Michael Jackson touched him. I think Corey Feldman and like Macaulay Culkin come to his defense all the time. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on Michael Jackson's pedophilia. I know, how dare I? But Corey Feldman's definitely fucked up. I want to see him up there, just roasting J-Lo's love life. Rachel Dolezal would have been fun up there, just like being black. You know Rachel Dolezal, the white lady who identifies as a black lady. That's always fun. She just got fired from being a teacher because somebody found her OnlyFans, and I'm like, you let her teach? Are we that desperate? That's the white woman who perms her hair and claims she identifies as a black woman is now allowed to teach her kids? We're fucked. I want to see her up there, just be like, J-Lo, girl, shoot. And then I want to see Gypsy Rose. That's who else I want to see up there. Gypsy fucking Rose. Just going like, I believe in you, J-Lo. Find that fire, D. I mean, that would have made the movie so much better to have that group. And again, cheaper. You could have paid Taryn Manning in hot dogs and she'd be happy. J-Lo really fucked up. Please go watch the film. I know I just did like 20 minutes on this film, but I'm in love with this film. I'm trying to get my fiance to watch this fucking film. It's very hard. And my main selling point is, but babe, it's only an hour long. And I just can't get her to do it. Please watch this film and tell me what you think of it. I think I'm helping market this film. You know what I mean? I've been talking shit about it, but a lot of people have been commenting saying they're putting this film on because of me. Now, they're not making it past 10 minutes, and that's okay. I think the stream still counts over there on Amazon Prime. But I think this is... Somebody said, I can't tell if this is going to be a cult classic film. No, it's not. Mouth queef. Sorry. It's not going to be a cult classic because, like, in order to be a cult classic, something has to just bomb, but still be good. But like nobody really gets it, or it's ahead of its time, and then people pick up on it. Like very Jennifer's Body, you know what I mean? Jennifer's Body came out and it was like controversial, and like nobody saw it, and now it's like fucking amazing. And every damaged woman on TikTok makes a TikTok with Jennifer's Body sounds, and it's very Tumblr 2024, But this is not going to be a cult classic. This is going to be a cult classic in the way Showgirls is and was. Showgirls is laughably bad. I tried to watch it again, and it's just awful. But you know what? Showgirls has a plot. Showgirls has a real movie set. I mean, if this is what AI films are going to look like, J-Lo's movie, we're not going to be served good art anymore. It's really bad. And it's not low budget, so it's like, what happened? Please watch it. I need people to talk about this film with, because I can't keep it to myself. It's like a horrible secret. I mean, it's like I got molested. I mean, by watching this movie, you do kind of agree to get molested. We'll leave it at that. All right, let's do an ad read, and then I'll jump into a little Gypsy news, because we got to keep up with our girl Gypsy, huh? All right, Lucy Brown, baby. We love Lucy Brown coffee over here. I'm pumped to get my new bag of beans from old Lucy Brown. I signed up for the subscription. It's a fucking great service. I got it so fast. The coffee was delicious. So good. If you're a big coffee lover like me, you're going to love what they have to offer for these subscriptions. So I would highly recommend it. You can enjoy coffee from Lucy Brown Coffee Bar without ever leaving the comfort of your home. Lucy Brown Coffee Bar is a Lexington, Kentucky local shop here, and they're offering coffee subscriptions to anywhere, baby. Anywhere. Where are you at? Ukraine? You got it. Lucy Brown is now offering coffee subscriptions. All you have to do is fill out the form on their website, and you'll get coffee beans from different and exciting roasters sent straight to your door. And this all starts at just $20 a month. And you even get a promo code that'll give you 10% off. And I'll tell you that promo code in a second. Listen, we need to talk about this coffee. It's every month you can get different coffee. That's the exciting thing for me. I really liked this month's coffee that I got. So I might go back to the store physically and buy it. You can also buy online, but I'm excited to see what else you're going to send me. So I know I'm not going to get the same coffee that I got last month, but I'm kind of excited to see what else I'm going to get, because it's just cool that you can get a variety of coffee from Lucy Brown. I'm very excited. I should have had some coffee before here, but I didn't want to shit my pants. Visit LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI browncoffee.com, and follow the coffee subscription button to get signed up today. It's so easy. And if you use the code Heather Shaw is kidding, you get 10% off your first order. It's so worth it. I have this subscription. I love it. I love supporting Lucy Brown Coffee. They're a queer-owned coffee shop right here in Lexington, Kentucky. We love gays. Support the gays. Support a local, small business, gay-owned coffee shop. What are you doing, huh? The Other Autism Podcast. Have you ever wondered if you might be autistic, huh? I see you collecting stamps over there. Or maybe you were recently diagnosed and now you're trying to understand autism and your place in the autistic community. That's also a thing that happens now. You know, with TikTok, it's like you go on TikTok and everybody's diagnosing you with everything. I mean, I thought I was bipolar for at least 5 minutes today. You know, because some people are like, I saw TikTok was like, do you like hot weather and cold weather? Bitch, you might be bipolar. I was like, oh, fuck. But I feel like you can kind of go on TikTok and they can show you some of it's real and some of it's not about whether or not you're autistic. It's very interesting, but I think TikTok has gotten people to get diagnosed, which is kind of nice to understand autism. You know, it's a lot different to get diagnosed later in life. I was diagnosed gay early, but I can't imagine if I was diagnosed at 30. It'd be a whole different kind of experience. The Other Autism Podcast is here to help. On each episode, your host, Kristen, will bring you interviews with autistic folks who are diagnosed as adults. So this is no kids shit. This podcast is not about, I was 7 and I'm autistic. I can, count toothpicks on the ground. This is adults. This is all about adults that were diagnosed later in life and then how they came to terms with their autistic identities. It's very interesting stuff. I really like this podcast a lot. I'll sip my queer-owned coffee from Lucy Brown. I'll pop on this podcast, and baby, I got a party going on. It's a good time over here. The Other Autism Podcast also covers the latest in autism research and topics at the forefront of autistic culture and scholarship. So if you kind of like to nerd out on that stuff, this is the podcast for you. If you are autistic or just wondering if you might be, do you have a lot of Funko Pops in your living room? Huh? Don't be honest. Don't lie to me. How many Funkos are we talking? If you're wondering if you might be or if you actually are autistic, the Other Autism Podcast helps you feel more informed and less alone. You can find the Other Autism Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to it now, baby. Kristen's the best. Shout out to Kristen from the Other Autism podcast. Shout out to Sarah from Lucy Brown Coffee. What else do I want with sponsors? A coffee shop and an autism podcast. That's on brand. It feels good. All right, we got some hot news for... Oh, you know what? No, let's go to Gypsy Rose first, because I didn't cover this before the ad read, and I thought I was going to, but we got to talk about it, because I think I called something now. I think I had insight, and I called something. You got to start listening to the things I predict. I think I'm pretty good at predicting certain things. Not to toot my own queef, but I think I'm good at it. Gypsy Rose, baby. Let's go back to Gypsy Rose, because people have forgotten about Gypsy Rose. They kind of, I mean, she's there, but we've cooled down off the Gypsy Rose fever. You know, she came out of prison hot, going on those talk shows and talking about her husband's fire dick. And it's kind of cooled down. I mean, she's still got 1 million followers on Instagram, but she's finally hopping over to Cameo. Gypsy Rose is on Cameo. Let me make sure this is... Somebody sent me an article, and I immediately saw it and was like, oh, bitch, she's doing it. Is she not on Cameo? Is this fake? You know what? Maybe it is real. I was going to say, this is from The Cut. This has to be real. Cameo announced Gypsy Rose's arrival earlier this week on Valentine's Day, no less. For $100, you can have Gypsy Rose narrate all kinds of messages for you. I feel like I'm reading an ad read. This sounds like Gypsy Rose wrote me and was like, "Can you please tell people I'm charging $100 to break up with their boyfriend for them?" That is brilliant. Gypsy should have done this a lot sooner, to be honest. But imagine Gypsy Rose telling, your Aunt Linda that she has cancer. I hope she gets so many Cameo requests, but there's going to be some funky ones. There's going to be a lot of annoying ones. "Hey, Brian, this is Gypsy. I just wanted you to know that Michelle thinks your D is not fire, and also she has chlamydia." It's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. She's going to get a lot of earnest Cameo requests. She's going to get a lot of funky Cameo requests. She's going to get a lot of, where she's almost saying a slur. People are going to trick her into almost saying a slur. I just know it. But I was on Cameo for when my TikTok first kind of got going. I got on Cameo, and I don't know why. I fucking hated it. It might be easier to do cameos if people are just asking you to talk to them through the camera. Just be yourself and just say, "Hey, happy birthday, faggot," or whatever. But people were coming onto mine and requesting me just doing like fucking Jim Carrey lines. It was soul sucking. And I understand why I blew up on TikTok. I get that. But I was not about to just have to look in the camera and be like, "Smoking." Yeah, I just couldn't do it. And then some of the people were requesting, lines from movies that I didn't even know. Like, I don't know me, myself, and Irene that much. I don't know any Sonic movies. Okay, I'm not a pedophile. Why would I watch Sonic? I don't have children. I'm not a pedophile. Leave me alone. I had to get off Cameo so fast. I mean, I did probably like 5 cameos, and I was like, "Get me the fuck out of here." It felt very like, "Dance, monkey, dance," and I wasn't making enough money for it to be good. But I mean, it just wasn't worth it. Even if I was just making a lot of money, unless I could just talk into the camera and say, "Hey, how you doing? It's Heather Shaw." But nobody wanted that back then. It was, "Hey, Jim, do this, hey, Jim." And it's like, oh, God, I feel like I'm going to get sued. But we'll see what Gypsy Rose does on Cameo. She's charging $100. You can go on there and get her to say anything, and I'm waiting patiently for the TikToks that come out with her just saying crazy shit. You know what I mean? "January 6th wasn't that bad. Let's riot the Capitol again. This is Gypsy. Trump has always been the president. Did you know? All right, happy birthday. This is Gypsy." Just the things people are going to make her say. "Hi, this is Gypsy. I'm your mother. Mother is mothering. Slay, work, twerk, queef." It's going to be rough. But good for her. Make that money, Gyps. Because how else is she going to... She can't get a regular job. She can't be an accountant. You know? She's, did she ever even complete school? Did we ever figure that out? Is Gypsy, can she count to 10? I'm not saying she's dumb. I'm saying she had a really rough childhood, and I don't think school was at the forefront of her childhood. You know, I think she can color within the lines, but don't ask her to do the Pythagorean theory for you, or whatever it's called. I don't even know it, and I'm, educated a little. I went to a Catholic school, so I'm not that educated. My religion teacher, her name was Miss Neely. Neely, really sweet woman. She was my religion teacher at a private Catholic school, and she had cerebral palsy. So that's the kind of teaching I was getting. And I'm not making that up. She really had cerebral palsy. I had a teacher with cerebral palsy teaching me. Now, she was teaching me about God, and I feel like you can be slow and teach about that because it's not a real subject. Nobody was letting her teach math, but they're like, yeah, sure, go talk about the guy in the sky. One time, Miss Neely told us, she was like, I don't know if you know this. That's how she sounded. Hi, this is Miss Neely. I don't know if you know this or not, but I have cerebral palsy. We're like, yeah, no, we know, Miss Neely. And everybody was sweet to her. Nobody was mean. It was a small school. We were all nice. And one time she went, did you know that I only have half of a brain? We were like, what? What? Yeah, half of my brain is rotted out, so they just took it out. So I have cerebral palsy and one side of my brain works. I'm like, get me the fuck out of this school. I can't believe you're going to teach me about Lent? What are you giving up half your brain for 40 days? What are we doing? She was the sweetest woman. She claimed to be a nun who got kicked out of her convent for having cerebral palsy. I think she got kicked out because she was clearly gay. That's neither here nor there. I hope she's still alive. She's probably not. She was in her 50s when I was in high school, and I was in high school in 1925, so. Miss Neely, I love you. You probably can't hear this. The palsy got to you, I'm sure. She was a fun lady, though. This is Miss Neely. I hated that school so much. Fuck Melbourne Central Catholic. All right, talking about creeps, from Catholic schools to this story. This is a news story today. Now, the media is really sugarcoating this story, I'm going to say, but there is a lot of insider info that you're seeing on TikTok from men that have clearly been to prison and have information, or the media, like the U.S. Weekly and whoever else, E! News, or whoever is reporting on this right now, they're really not telling you anything that's going on. They're just telling you the surface level of this story. Danny Masterson got attacked. Danny Masterson got attacked in prison. And that's not surprising, right? You have a rapist sitting in prison, a rapist celebrity, and not like a cool celebrity. I'm sure Bill Cosby kind of made his way through prison fine because everybody's like, what's up, Doc? What's up, Dr. Huxtable? Hey, it's Cos. But he's a fucking nerd. Danny Masterson's a fucking white Scientology nerd who was on a hit show in, that 70s show that I'm guaranteeing you most of the prisoners weren't watching. But he got attacked, and you're really not going to see that in the news that comes out about it, which is very interesting. But, he did get attacked. So I'm going to pull up an Us Weekly article here and read it. So this is how they're presenting it too. And I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know if there's some kind of protection they're trying to uphold with Danny. I don't know if it's not substantiated. If the source is a prisoner, is that a good source? I don't know why they're doing it, but they're presenting it like this. Danny Masterson has been transferred to a minimum security prison after a brief stay in a maximum security facility. Us Weekly can confirm. He's got a 30-year sentence for rape. So essentially that's a life sentence. Let's be real. He's in his 40s. Masterson began to stay at Corcoran. I'm trying to... Oh, here we go. It's reported that Masterson's relocation was due to concerns over the inmates' well-being. So that's about as much as you're going to get about him being attacked. He was transferred over concerns about his well-being, meaning he got his fucking ass beat or he got his ass beat. somebody ripped his asshole open and said, "Open wide, bitch, here I come." So he's going to learn about consent today. But they're presenting it like, there's concerns over his safety, so he was relocated. Now, he is relocated to a minimum security prison, but he's still in danger. So I was watching a couple TikToks from these men. They didn't have all their teeth. They had face tattoos. I trust them. Sorry, again, mouth fart. My God. You have men with face tattoos and half of their teeth are not in their mouth and they're talking about prison. I'm going to fucking trust them. Sorry. I'm not going to trust some white bitch that gets on, with a full face of makeup talking about prison. I'm going to trust a man who's definitely done time and gets on TikTok and talks about it. So a lot of these men were saying he definitely got attacked. You don't get transferred unless something happened. It's not going to stop happening. Minimum security, maximum security. He's still going to be he's a target. He's got a target on his back. He's a rapist. I'm surprised, honestly, because I thought that they really only came after child rapists, but I think his crime is big enough and bad enough, and he's kind of got a target on his back that they're gonna do something. I don't know what'll happen. He might just have to be in his cell, But it's a good day. It's a good day when you can see a rapist, or you can hear about a rapist having to be transferred because they got their ass ripped open. Their asshole is now one with their back. It's all just one continuous thing. I mean, the guy's a piece of shit. And it's surprising that a Scientologist didn't get away with it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's going to be a great week because of this. I'm filming on Monday. This week is going to be one of the best weeks because this is, we don't get good news anymore. This is the feel-good news we need. I don't need to see a video of a soldier coming home and surprising his wife. I want to hear about Danny Masterson getting ass raped in prison. That's my feel-good news. We'll see how long he lasts. I'm not sure. It's like, I'm surprised that Jared from Subway is still alive. I don't know how that happened. He's had to have been attacked, or did he have an alliance? Is he giving away free Subway subs in prison and kind of holding them back? I'm not sure how he's surviving because he's major pedophile, underage kids, pedophile. It's interesting. I don't know how he's surviving in there. It's weird. All right, what else do I want to talk about? This is another creepy story before we wrap up this episode here. What if the creepy story is just I go over J-Lo's movie again? Okay, we gotta revisit it. Sora, text to video, is gonna ruin everything for everyone. And all I can think about is two things, sex and crime. Sora is an open AI. It's kind of like ChatGPT. You put in prompts, ChatGPT talks to you, answers your questions, spruces up your answers. Whatever you need ChatGPT to do beyond sucking your clit, they'll do. Sora is another open AI program, and they have now pseudo-released a text-to-video model. What this means is you go in and you set up a prompt. An Italian grandmother cooking in her kitchen, but not wearing any pants. You put that into Sora, you get a fucking video of an Italian grandmother cooking pasta in her kitchen, but not wearing any pants. And you get the video, and it's a realistic looking video. Go look it up on TikTok, YouTube. Look at what these videos look like. It is creepy. And all I can think about are two things: sex and crimes. How is this gonna... a year ago, AI videos looked absolutely unhinged and fake. Okay? It's kind of... You can tell when J-Lo's movie was made. It was made probably a year ago. Because it's not too good. Now these AI videos are getting way too realistic. You can type in anything and it'll give you a legit video. Now, there's some things that are a little off. When I saw a video of said grandma cooking pasta in the kitchen, now she had pants on. This was an innocent video, but an innocent example. Her hands looked a little off. So AI is still learning hands, but that's not going to take long. By the time I finish the sentence, AI will figure out the hands. I just keep going back to like, this is not going to be used for good. It's just like the internet. The internet was never, the internet was like, look at all this knowledge we have at our fingertips. Look at all this access to everyone. We can learn so much. We can grow as a community. Look at this. And what are we doing with it? We don't do anything good with it. We make memes. We dance on TikTok. There's a lot of insidious things that are happening. There's a lot of CP. Men are able to bookmark mommy vlogger videos of kids running around in their diapers so they can whack it later. It's a lot of creepy shit, the internet. Not sure people are learning on the internet, but there's a lot of shit we did not see coming, huh? So I'm just imagining the worst. We already talked about Taylor Swift's AI photos that she sued over or is threatening to sue. That were like, you could tell they were AI photos, but like it's only going to get worse. The technology is only going to get better. And now we have it in video. So it's not going to just be Taylor Swift getting gangbanged by a Philadelphia Eagle bird. It's going to be creepy men, because men ruin everything. Hate to say it, but it's true. Mostly straight men. Creepy men going on there and coming up with the most ungodly shit. Whatever you want, anything you could think of, and even worse. I'm not going to mention anything about children, but let that be one of the thoughts you have. Men can go on there and say a video of my grandma bent over. Anything. Hey, my ex-girlfriend sucking off a cucumber. There's a video. A random person, a blonde woman, guzzling cum out of an elephant's trunk. That's a video. The possibilities are endless for creeps. And it's going to become a little revenge porny. It's going to be the new You Up. I think I talked about this in a previous episode, the website You Up, that guy Hunter started, where people sent in nudes that they had received from women, mostly women, in private, that they sent to somebody to post on a website for all the world to see while tagging their social media. It was unhinged. But that's what this new text to video is going to be. Anything you can think of. And then beyond the sex shit, right? Beyond the creepy guys looking up anything, prompting whatever they want. They send, it's just crazy. Somebody's going to pull up your mom, getting titty fucked by a train. By Thomas the Train. Beyond that, think about crimes. There's we have evidence of you stealing from this Walmart, and it's like, what? And somebody prompted it in the AI, and you've been convicted. Now, this is a very basic premise that I'm thinking of, but really, how are we going to be able to differentiate? There are dirty prosecutors, there are dirty defense attorneys. The justice system is dirty. The justice system is the least advanced system in our country since the civil rights. In some counties, you still have all white juries, hearing a case of a black man. It's a modern day lynching, if you will. So it's going to get grimy. The justice system has not advanced very far since civil rights, and it's going to get grimy. It's going to get weird. False accusations. Videos that aren't real, that, show that you were there at the scene of the crime, man. It's kind of creepy, and I don't know. I want to say that I trust these developers who make these programs. At least they'd be thinking of these things before me, some comedian thinks of it, but I don't know. I don't know what the point is of putting this out into the public and just letting it go. ChatGPT was a little less harmful. It's just prompts. Now we're getting into creating videos, and that's really where things can go awry really easily. ChatGPT, I was thinking, like, how are people not passing classes? How are people still failing any class where they need to write a paper when they have ChatGPT? Like, just fucking write the paper with ChatGPT and change up the words a bit, and you're done. It's so fucking easy. And that may be the most insidious thing about ChatGPT, is that, like, it can help you cheat in class. But this text to video is like, way worse. And the implications are way worse. And like, I think that it'll have to be stopped from the top, meaning it'll take another Taylor Swift suing or celebrities suing, Kim Kardashian suing because somebody made a Kim and Kanye sex tape, that's not real. And then OJ joins in at the 30-minute mark and starts fucking Kim. Like, it's going to get weird, and the celebrities are going to have to sue and take this down, and they're going to have to regulate this. There needs to be some regulations in this country. And we're not good with regulations in this country, We don't like to regulate shit unless it's a car. If it's a gun, it's like, we're not going to give you this gun unless you have mental illness. That's our regulation. I would think that if you're a gun lover, you respect guns and you know how powerful they can be, you'd want some regulations so not every twerp can get their hands on one. But what do I know? So this country's not great with regulations. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they instill some regulations with this open AI, which I'm going to call it open AI porn, because that's all it's going to be. Pornhub and you porn and whatever the fuck there was a porn site with hamster in the name. I don't know how that stayed popular for so long. I forget what it was called. I think it's X Hamster. What is that title? Hey, Billy, I'm going to make a porn site. It's going to have all the good step sibling porn you could think of. Hell yeah, man. You know what I'm going to call it? What? Hamster. I'm going to fucking call it Hamster. Maybe I'll make a new site, call it Gerbil. I don't know. Those porn sites are going to go away once people can just make their own porn. We'll see. It's very interesting. I was going to go over the shooting at the Super Bowl parade, but really, I'm over it. Everyone has their opinion on guns. Nothing changes. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce went up there and said, donate to this, but they didn't say a damn thing about, can we get some gun regulations? They're never going to say that. It would alienate their crowd. And you don't want to do that. I think Steve Kerr was the most vocal sports figure to come out against all this gun violence. And he was angry, and you could tell he was passionate, and he was like pleading. He was like, when is this going to be enough? When are we going to do something? It would have been nice to see the Kelce brothers do that, but they're in their prime of getting the bag. They're in their prime of getting money. They can't be alienating a single person in this country. They've got to keep all the sides together, keep all the money raking in from every side they can, and the best they can do is set up a GoFundMe for the victims, Which, I don't know if you knew this, but GoFundMes, they don't bring back your dead relative that died in a mass shooting. All right, let's go over. Last thing I wanted to talk about was a movie I saw last week. It was very good. I know we talked a lot about one movie in particular, so I'll just talk about this briefly. For Valentine's Day, I took my fiance to go see Lisa Frankenstein, and I gotta say, it was fun. It was a fun movie. Go see it if you're just looking to turn your brain off and have some fun. This is a movie, it was released for Valentine's Day, I believe. Honestly, they could have released it for Halloween and probably would have performed better. But either way, it was super fun. It's written by Diablo Cody. She wrote Juno. She wrote Jennifer's Body, as I previously mentioned, that movie. These are all good movies. Juno, I'm kind of not a fan of because of the dialogue. It was just so heavy on the quirkiness and so not real. No teenager was walking around in 2004 going, honest to blog? Like, I fucking hated that dialogue. But a lot of, like, calling their friends, hey, home skillet. No one was saying that. Shut the fuck up. The dialogue in Lisa Frankenstein isn't that bad. There's some iterations of that kind of dialogue in the movie, but it's not bad. It's a fun movie. It's a comedy mostly. There's a little horror element to it, but not really. It's nowhere near as much of a scary movie as J-Lo's is. And it was just overall fun. If you're just looking to go see a quick, fun movie, great pacing. The movie wasn't long. It was set in the 80s, so it's got that cool aesthetic. A lot of pastels. I liked it a lot. Not every movie has to be prolific. And honestly, in this day and age, give me a 1.5 hour movie that's fun and you kind of unique. I mean, it's kind of an older story, unoriginal, but I enjoyed it. I like Diablo Cody. I think she does well. And it was a good cast. All right, that is it for me. I'm going to get out of here. I think I'm going to go watch J-Lo's movie again. It just makes me feel so good about my life. You know, it's like watching Intervention or Hoarders. You watch Hoarders and you're like, I'm doing okay. When I was a kid, I would put on the Maury show and just be like, you know what? I may have skipped class today, and my teacher may have cerebral palsy and half of a brain, but at least I'm not pregnant not knowing who the father is. All right, till next time, don't forget to subscribe where you listen. Please rate, subscribe, leave a review, queef, do what you got to do. If you don't, that's fine. You just hate me, and it hurts. Again, you can support the show by joining my Patreon, not my Patreon, Heather Shaw Comedy on patreon.com. It's linked into this, it's linked in this website. It's linked in this podcast description as well as the sponsors for this podcast. Every week you get a bonus episode on my Patreon. You get a fun chat. I think we're almost up to 100 members. It'll be a momentous occasion. I'm going to show my, I don't know, I'll probably show a lip, a labia. I'll probably post one labia lip. Is that a thing? I don't even know my own genitalia. Once I get to 100, that'll be a celebration. You can also find me all over social media. Keep listening, keep liking it, and stay gay. See ya.